This week on Chicago Beer Pass, Nick and I are joined by our buddy Gavin to talk about stouts. We open up a bottle of Goose Island Northwood and dive into everything that was getting drunk at Beer Bistro. All that and more on this week's episode.
Yeah, because, you know, you get a cork knocked out, boop, it just flies like fucking 10 feet. We're like, yeah, let's do it. The legend, Mr. Pete Crowley. I love Pete Crowley, man.
How's that beer? It's what you think it is.
It'll be like the stuff you hear. You ever go to, every time you go to Floyd's, all the music sounds like this. Raw, raw, raw.
Hey, and welcome to Chicago Beer Pass. I'm Brad Chmielewski.
Brad, what's up, man? I'm Nik White.
And we got a special guest joining us this week, Gavin. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I love how you just throw down the first name every time we have a guest. He's like, and coming to the mic, Gavin.
That's all you need.
Yeah, that's all I need. Yeah. Welcome. Yeah, you, Gavin, known each other for a while, and you're a big beer fan, and you go to multiple events, probably more than I often go to.
I don't know about that. I don't know. At least everyone I'm at, I see you, so you have to be going to more than I have. But yeah, we've been, we're in the same motion industry, but we always kind of have this side love for beer going on, and been listening to podcasts for a while. Love you guys, so this is an honor. Thanks for having me.
And I told you I had picked up a bottle of the Northwood from Goose Island, and that was one you were chasing. You were unable to get your hands on.
This is the rabbit.
So I figured it was a good excuse to bring you on and open up this bottle, because otherwise I'm going to sit on it too long and then we'll all be sad.
Nobody wants that.
So right now we're drinking some goddamn Pigeon Porter, leftover can from last week, just a water palette here. And then you've brought a bunch of other beers that we may dive into and touch on throughout this episode.
Yeah. So I brought a new one from Pipeworks called the Coffee End of Days. Apparently it's pretty hot. I haven't had it yet, but good milk stout with chilies and cinnamon and all sorts of goods. I had an old Black Friday, which is kind of there. You can only get it on Black Friday from Lakefront up in Milwaukee. And a buddy of mine actually went up there and got this for me in 2015. Oh. And he went there and he's like, I don't like stouts. I don't know why I got these. Do you want them? I'm like, absolutely.
I guess I'll take them.
Absolutely. So I've been sitting on that for a couple years. I just popped another one and it's still good. So cool. Do that. And then I got one from Denver from a brewery called Ratio, which Nick said you were familiar with. Yeah. Up in the Rhino District, River North District to us Chicagoans.
It's impressive, like where the Ratio guys are.
Yeah.
Like, because I did the tour. They do a Denver beer bus every year, and like,
cool.
I'm like, man, they're like in a neighborhood with like a ton of other breweries, like 5 or 6. Yeah. I mean, in Chicago we see that now, but Denver, like a few years ago, had that thing going.
That whole Rhino District is just, every time I go, it's 10 new places open
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird how they support all that, you know?
It is.
Because there's like 300 breweries, like, in and around like Denver, I want to say. Like,
really? Is that many? Wow.
Like, there's a Colorado. That sounds like a Colorado number, actually.
Yeah, that sounds.
But that's still a lot.
It's still,
In Illinois, there's only like 110 or so, 120 or so.
I thought we were up to like 130.
130?
Yeah.
Well, I think, does Colorado have more than Oregon? I know they were battling for a long time, and I knew at one point, I think Colorado edged out Oregon for a bit, but I haven't checked the leaderboard.
Well, cool. Well, why don't we open up this Northwood?
Oh, man. Yes, please.
Dive into that. Nick and I, we went to Goose Island. We got info on all of these. So
yeah, we touched them all with Jerry Jankowski, brewmaster over there. That was a good interview, maybe like an hour or so. Yeah, and I think this was his baby. Everyone throws their hat into the ring when coming up with these ideas. Mm-hmm. I think coffee and OG are static. I mean, the beans change, but those offerings are static. But then I think everything else, rotates, right?
Yeah.
Barley wine, I should throw that in there too. Coffee, barley wine, OG are all the same.
Pretty much.
And then everything else is something new. And this was one of the new ones this year.
Even coffee is different because they use different beans and different process sometimes.
Yeah. So what is this? Man, I'm having a hard time reading, man.
It's the blueberry, right?
Oh, yeah, blueberry juice and almond extract.
Yes.
Yeah. So reminds him of his camping trips.
You could really
back
taste
home
the
in,
almond.
Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you can taste the almond.
And it's still, I don't know, we're like 2-3 months out from when this was packaged now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's still super fresh. You're not going to get anything off or anything like that.
Man.
And then almond comes out.
I get all blueberry when I smell it.
Have you had the double barrel we just went to Goose last week, I think, and they released the double barrel, just OG.
And it was at Fobab. I don't remember much about Fobab.
Oh, okay.
I don't. So I mean, but I
Checks
remember.
out.
I couldn't tell you what it tasted like.
Okay.
No.
Well,
But you had it.
it's 17.2.
Right, yeah.
And it is no joke, but it's still smooth. I don't know. Some people said it was hot, but maybe because I was drinking a little whiskey the night before,
okay.
my palate was kind of crushed. But
Yeah.
I thought it was good, man. I thought it was real good.
Yeah, I had it at Fobab because it was one that people were like, get this. This is what
Yeah.
it's supposed to make you feel like the first time you had Bourbon County. Like all those same flavors, just stuff you're looking
Yeah.
for. And so I remember it being good, but having stuff at Fobab kind of gets lost.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were saying that they 2 fresh bourbon barrels, one for a year, and then a totally different one for like half a year. I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
For that one, draft only double barrel.
Yeah. That's great.
But have you had this one now?
So this will
previously?
kind of complete the set. Yeah,
Okay.
I've had the proprietors. So I went to a launch event at Beer Bistro, not the one
Not
we
the
went to
Stout Tap
last
Takeover.
week. Yeah, this last week. But there was one opening weekend, I believe, and
Black Wednesday.
yes, that was Blackout Wednesday, Black Wednesday, whatever you want
Okay.
to call it. But yeah, so I got to try some of the prop. They started with the barley wine and kind of had to wait a little bit later. But the prop was good, real banana-y. Banana Foster's, I think,
Yeah,
is the flavor this
that
year.
one is fun.
And, yeah, so that and this one kind of round out the set. I like the barley wine this year too.
I did too. I had an interesting conversation about barley wine, like, because it just went so up and down on it. Like the very first time I had it, I loved it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
you're on a barley wine kick too.
And then I'm on a barley wine kick too. And then I bought it, and it was more expensive than the OG. So then I started to hate it a little bit because I didn't understand why it would be more because it's not even a fucking stout, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But then now I'm starting to like it again.
Yeah.
I'm up and down on that beer.
Okay.
What was the one that was like had chipotle chilies in it? That was
That might have been Prop 2016, which we had like a couple
that
weeks
was
ago.
last year's
Yeah.
prop.
It was maple syrup
Yeah.
and chipotle peppers
Yeah.
and guajillo, I think.
Yeah, we had that one too at the Black Wednesday.
Oh.
and it was my least favorite of all of them, to be honest.
Yeah, man. It was like
Yeah.
a spicy moth.
Spicy
not moth.
stouts are
Yeah.
tough.
Spicy
sometimes.
malt ball. Spicy malt ball. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay,
Yeah.
not your thing.
That's a good call.
But the Northwood has been my favorite since we tasted them all,
Yeah.
Nick. And
How's it holding up for you?
having it now independent of the other ones, I still enjoy it, but it's hard to put it in there when you're not having them like in a lineup or having something to compare it to. But I still really enjoy the flavors of it.
Yeah.
The smell is amazing.
It does. I love the fresh blueberry smell and that classic Bourbon County finish. I do enjoy that fun. It's a fun ride for me. I dig that.
Yeah.
When we had it at the Barrel Warehouse, I got a lot more like almond. It reminded me of an almond cookie, like, you know, the ones you
does.
get at like the little Chinese
Yeah.
takeout. You get those.
Right.
Yeah. It reminded me of that. Now I'm getting like mostly blueberry,
Blueberry.
today.
I mean, it could be a temperature thing too. Maybe those were colder or warmer. That's always tough to say too. But
Fun stuff, man.
cool. Well, we'll keep sipping on this and we'll dive into these other ones here shortly. But you were mentioning Beer Bistro, and this was an
Yeah,
event
man.
you guys both made it to this past week.
8th Annual Stout Takeover.
Yeah, it was no joke. They had some heavy hitters there.
They get some good beers there. I forget how good it is, man. Foursquare said it's been like since 2014 since I've been there.
Okay.
And I was like, man, I love this place. I don't know why why I never come here. So yeah, I was in
It's like a
line.
classic Chicago bar.
Yeah,
You know, like,
yeah. You can pregame. Well, you wouldn't pregame for Fobab, but because they used to be in West Loop, not
You
far from
you
there.
used to be able to pregame before Fobab there.
But for Bulls and Hawks games for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in line. It opened at 11. I was in line about 10:30.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we saw 2 people in line at 10:30. So we're like, well, this has to be the line. Better get in it, you know. So
Yeah.
that was that. Yeah.
Okay, so you got the early.
So you go straight to the bar then?
Yeah.
You got
No.
there?
Well, I wanted to sit in the back. I just wanted to chill, you know.
Okay.
So I got a seat.
That seems like a mistake to get your beer.
That's true.
That's why I didn't see it, because I was at the very
true.
front. I'm
Yeah.
looking around. I was like,
Yeah.
I think Nick's here. But
They had waitresses, and I'm like, so what's the deal? Do I go get a table and still go to the bar? She's like, no, you got to serve her. I'm like, let's do it.
Okay.
Because, we're Stout Fest. I'm like, we're probably going to eat. Let's just get some room.
Okay. And
Yeah.
just in case you get wobbly, you got somewhere to sit.
know what I mean?
Yeah. So you had to start with the prop.
You got to go prop. On this list, I think you had to go prop and then CBS on draft, I think.
Yeah.
And then come to find
I
out,
started at CBS.
everything was a full keg, I think, except for CBS, which was a sixth.
Okay.
So they were taking best at, after props.
It lasted a long time for a sixth.
CBS would kick next. That was the bet. That's what the in-house bet was.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went prop and I went CBS first. Yeah.
Nice. Well, you were one of the lucky ones who got the prop, because we came. I went to the march downtown first with some friends, and then came around like 1:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're like, "Props done." I'm like, "Really?" And they're like, "Apparently they spilled half the barrel. Something went wrong in the tapping process."
There's a mechanic that they would say, they come around and they say, where's your tap list? And they just mark it off. And we're talking like 11:10, like not even 20 minutes in. I was like, no fucking way. There's rumor that keg might have cost like $400 too.
Wow.
That's a rumor, but
Yeah, I'm sure it was
like,
pricey, but
But dude, yeah, something happened in the cooler. Some kind of malfunction in the cooler. I'm like, that's rough. So
yeah, I'm sure Bob's kicking himself over there. Like, if that was $400, charging probably $8-10 a pour for it.
they could have spilled. We were saying in the pregame, they could have spilled every other beer on that list, man.
Yeah.
Right. I know. That one job.
Any other beer, I'd have been okay with that.
Maybe some beer nerd who's stuck in there and just just showering
That's rough,
himself
though,
and
man.
prop for a while
That's
before
rough.
they caught him.
I got one round. Only thing about that party, I wish they would have had, because I saw the Brooklyn guys there, and you were talking about Black Ops.
Yeah.
And I wish I would have tried more beers, but it wasn't. You couldn't get multiple size options. It was the 10-ounce all day.
Yeah.
So
That's a bummer when you're drinking 13% beers back to back.
So, I wish,
Or
because
was it?
right?
You're in for a great time. Well, you're in for a great time, but a bad morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Sunday was slow.
Prop on tap, man. It was all it's all banana bread. Nice chocolate covered banana bread. That's all I get. I was having a conversation. Tell me if you guys heard this before, because these guys next to me were saying these kegs, they feel like these kegs rotate as far as flavors. So I was at the brewery and it was a banana bomb, or I was at the brewery and it was a coconut bomb, the same beer.
That would be not.
You got a lot of that beer to really pick
So
up
I don't know.
That would not be true, because it's all getting filled from
the same
the
vat.
same
kind of-
tank, and
Unless it's a different barrel.
But it's coming from Goose
different barrels
Island.
Can do different flavor formats.
It's coming from Goose Island at this point. If this bottle doesn't taste like bottle
It's
800,
streamlined.
something's wrong.
Yeah. So that was an interesting conversation. I'm like, I don't know. It's good though.
The only way it could have been different is those tap lines weren't cleaned properly. Something else was there.
Yeah.
Maybe the CO2 wasn't regulated correctly.
And everybody's palates are individual too, so
Right.
your palate can shift between places. So the power of suggestion's pretty mighty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I taste cinnamon. Oh yeah, me too.
we were waiting in the line, and some guys were saying that some of this stuff tapped earlier in the week at other places. So the Village Tap, they had some on tap the night before. Patty Long's, and then apparently Flo and Santos last week had the full lineup. I didn't know any of that. At Patty Long's, apparently all they had was coffee and reserve, and coffee kicked before reserve did.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, this was the only time that I've seen prop since prop day on tap.
Okay. Any other standouts you guys had, or what else were you drinking?
Yeah, for me, I love the Black Ops. It was a 2016 Black Ops, but I have a little romantic affinity for that beer. Just because I like the champagne yeast. I think it provides a weird element to it.
Okay.
But it was also the first kind of beer. Well, actually, its predecessor was the first barrel beer I'd ever had, and there was this kind of one-off project from Brooklyn called the Manhattan Project. Have you heard of this?
Oh, I have
before?
heard of that. Yeah.
It's it was at a beer fest in Florida in, God dang, I don't even know, 2007, 2008, something like that. and they just had this one-off, and they're like, yeah, we're trying this new beer. It's a Imperial Stout that's aged, I think it was Imperial Stout, so it was a pretty heavy stout. I think they aged it in brandy barrels, and they introduced a little bit of cherry to it, but it tastes like a Manhattan.
Right.
And I was like, what the hell is this? This is amazing. It blew my mind. And I was like, barrel with beer and cherry and cocktail world mixing with beer. That was the first time I'd ever come across that, and I was blown away. So I kept asking them about it, brewery. They're like, oh, yeah, well, we got this thing coming out called Black Ops, and they kind of took their learnings from that beer, and they released Black Ops, was my understanding. And then that, for the longest time, was kind of one of the first, not, I mean, obviously, you know, bourbon and all that, but from Brooklyn, that was definitely their first foray into that, and one of the first ones you could find.
Yeah, it was pretty widely available, too, if you were in that region that got Brooklyn beers, because it was like a speedway stout of the East Coast, so where it's on shelves and like, oh, here it is, I'll take one.
Damn, I'm at a bar, I see it. They got $40 a bottle, but
for sure,
share it with a buddy, you know, you're sipping that for like an hour. It's good. It was great. So I get a little soft spot in my heart for that. The champagne yeast kind of throws some people off, but I like it.
Gives it that velvet smooth profile. I dig it, man.
Yeah, kind of lifts it up a little bit. I don't know.
Nice.
It's good.
The conversations around, you know, there's only a $6 CBS there, and then a conversation in line about, have you had it on draft yet? And I'm kind of like, actually, no, I haven't. So I went with that as my second one.
Because we've talked about, I don't know if we talked about it on air or off air, on how you are not loving this CBS.
Right. I mean, compared to like, you know, 2011 when you first had it, or even like, what was it, 2015, right? It was the last time we saw it. It felt definitely like the rest of the pack of, you know, whale adjunct stouts had kind of bridged the gap between CBS, you know what I mean? But then I have it on draft.
Yeah.
All right, so we got like 6 bottles of CBS. When Benny's, not Benny's, but Whole Foods is their Black Friday. They came out that day.
Yeah.
Got 6 bottles. You know, we tend to drink it, you know, Saturday breakfast. And it's a fine beer. We had it on the show. I thought it's a good beer. Yeah. But then on draft, it's something else. It's like
really
bigger in every way. All chocolate, specifically chocolate and maple syrup. Yeah. Like in your face, in a way that I thought the bottle should have been. I'm like, God damn, this is the beer I wish I had 6 bottles of. You know what I mean? It was way better on draft, I thought.
Yeah, I'm the opposite of you. I've only had it on draft. I got a bottle. I went to the Binny's launch thing, and they actually had it at the Clybourne Binny's. Yeah. And you could go and get like $25 or reserve you a bottle plus a pour or something like that. And so I tried it there first, and then I've got a bottle of it, and I'm just sitting on it. I'll probably sit on it for a year or so. Yeah. So I only know one way, so now I'm a little...
I mean, maybe
I'll just sit on it.
I've only had the bottle, and it's good, but I think I said this when we had Steve Wyatt on, and just said it's such a forgettable beer. It is. I forgot I drank that beer.
Yeah, it's put together well, and you get hints of everything that they say is in it. Yeah, yeah.
It's real heavy on the wood for me. I really taste the wood coming through. Yeah. Is that the same way in the bottle, or does the wood kind of disappear?
I think everything's subdued. I think, but everything's in step. You know what I mean? Like, so. But that draft was like, dude. I'm like, come on, this can't be real. Because it's the same beer. It's the same beer. It's just the volume's turned up. Yeah. Infinitely more. It's good.
Anything else you guys had that stood out?
The Baptista was great. Yeah, the Big Bad Baptista, and the triple barrel. I don't know if you've had the triple barrel Baptista.
I was hoping this was that. And
I know.
It was.
I was too. But I think that's a super rare. Like I don't even know if they make kegs of that. Outside of Denver, of course. I'm sure it's eaten up in Denver. But
I went willetized coffee stout from Lagunitas. Yeah. And that one for me was Big Oak. Like mostly oak, coffee in the bag.
Yeah. You like that better than the High West?
Man, it's been a while since I had the High West.
Because they just switched over to Willet barrels, right?
I think it was. Was that had anything to do with Heineken? I heard that had something to do with
it. It had to be, right? Yeah. It sounds like a Heineken thing because every time I go to Lagunitas, their barrel program has like 100 babies, and then it started with a couple racks, and it's like boom, boom, and now it's almost taking over that entire back room, and there's empty ones waiting, and it's amazing. Tenfold growth over the last 2 years, I would say. Wow. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, so I wanted to get to more, but I went Lagunitas, CBS, and Prop.
Okay.
That's all I got to. Oh, and Batista. That's all I got to.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else, but yeah.
Then, did you guys make it to anything else this past week? Hit up beer related?
I went out to Three Floyds.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice.
What they had a behemoth. The winter. we bitch about the winter still. I've been here forever. Still bitch about the winter. But it does give you a chance to hit these places like beer. The Beer Bistro, out to Behemoth. To get Three Floyds Behemoth. Y'all have some there. Yeah. And Hop Slam came out this week. Got some of that.
Okay.
And it just reminded me, like, man, the first time I fell for all those things was in the winter. So I guess winter ain't all that bad, right? I'm revisiting things that got me into beer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beer Bistro, Hop Slam, and Behemoth at Three Floyds, right? But they had
distilleries open, right? Is it
I
fully
don't
open yet?
know if it's open. It's definitely up. I know the last two Dark Lord days they walk you through the distillery to get your allotment.
Sure.
But I haven't seen any news from them yet. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They had something called Nut of the Living Ale 2 on, which was interesting. It was an oatmeal stout with peanut butter and cacao nibs.
Okay.
Yeah, and I never see stuff like that from them. So that was solid. All peanut butter and upfront.
Nice.
That's it. You didn't really get any on. They just kind of finished kind of bitter and dry.
Okay.
So, yeah. But
That was
good.
using that chunky.
Should have used that Skippy, man. They're using Jif,
go
man.
smooth.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I hit, man.
Gavin, you were at another event, right?
Yeah, just the Goose Island kind of double barrel release thing.
Oh, right. That's right.
And then, what was it before that? I think it was the Black Wednesday, and then the CBS release at Binny's. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that's been about it as of recent memory.
All right. Yeah, this past week, I just did like some brewery stops. After the Women's March, we walked over to Haymarket to get food and a beer. And
Did you get busy on the, did they have the flights of the Acrimonious?
they had still lots of the beers from the anniversary party. I didn't dive into those because still had a lot to do that day. So I was like, I just went in. I think I had a Slice Baby and something else. Their malt liquor beer or something like that. So stopped in there.
I think that's what they took to Brewpub Shootout.
Oh, okay.
That malt liquor thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then also stopped over at Haymarket not Haymarket, Half Acre.
Right on.
That beer lineup, I hadn't been in a few weeks, and I was like, I don't know any of these beers. Besides like the standard like tuna, whatever other couple. I was like,
You were on Lincoln?
yeah, at the Lincoln spot. I was like,
No
this
Big
is-
Hugs varietals?
no, that was all gone. But just the tap room, we were getting lunch, and yeah, there was just a lot of great selection there. So if anyone hasn't been in a while, I definitely recommend it.
Yes.
Should we get into this ratio while we're talking?
Yes, go for it.
That.
Yeah, there you go. And then I was out in Warrenville, so had to hit up Two Brothers.
The Dos Bros.
Oh, man, I haven't been there in ages.
Went there for lunch and some beer. I think the food has gone downhill because they're closing it anyway.
They are?
So,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, they will be moving into this giant, multiple acre place in Naperville where we're not sure
Close
if
to
there's.
Solomon?
I don't know.
It might be Aurora.
It might be Aurora.
It's like 25, like a ridiculous amount of
It's
space. Like
huge.
a full complex for distilling and coffee and beer.
Yeah, we don't know if there's gonna be a tap room.
Are they going to have a sign outside this time?
They might
It's
not.
really weird that there's no sign at
no
Warrenville.
sign.
Like, that's one of the oldest breweries in the whole state.
Yeah.
But
craft brewery.
there wasn't really anybody there
Yeah.
either, and this was a Sunday afternoon, which is kind of surprising. But yeah, just went in there. I think I had the pinball with blood orange.
Right on.
So yeah, so that was kind of my week of just a couple of random brewery stops.
You get some of that
Brewpub
get
stops.
some of that coffee liqueur. You can only get it there. Oh, but you weren't at the Roundhouse. You were at the.
I was at the Warrenville one, so where they have the huge gift shop. They have like 3 different kinds of coffees.
Yeah.
And they also do. If anyone has like a Keurig, they have the K Cup Two Brothers.
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Should get some of that for the job.
Yeah, right.
Coffee at the job is free, but it's rough. It's like some Aramark shit. And I'm like, dude, come on.
Nice. So yeah, that was my week. Yeah. All right. So we opened up this. What's this? The bourbon barrel aged Russian Imperial Stout
Yeah.
from Ratio.
And they also had the 2015 you could buy as well. But of all kind of the Colorado beers that I tried back home, this one stood out the most.
Reminds me of like a whiskey and cola on the nose when I smell it.
Yeah.
Huh.
And there wasn't that much difference between the 2015 and the 16.
What's this called,
to
man?
be honest? Genius Wizard.
Genius Wizard. Yeah, that's it. It's almost tough coming from the Northwood because there's so much going on, and
Totally.
so this feels mellow.
Feels flat, a little mellow. Yeah. You're like grabbing for
It's
the
like,
flavor.
what is this here? But it's really well, I guess, balanced. It feels like it all goes together nicely. You have to take a few sips to kind of
It's
get
not
into
super thick either. Not real syrupy, which normally I like some with the Northwoods and the BCS.
Yeah, it's like that sticky chewiness to it.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm excited that most brewers make theirs with a little lighter viscosity like this. Like I dig this a lot.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So
A sessionable barrel aged
yeah, what's the ABV on this? Does it say?
Winter session
Definitely not
BA stout.
Yeah, I don't even think it says
That's a
on
new
that.
category of beer going out now. Sessionable Imperial.
Have you tried our winter session stout?
All right. So that was our past week. Nick, what's on the calendar for this weekend?
All right, man. Let's see. Should we start at Thursday?
Yeah.
Thursday the 25th at Link's Tap Room in Wicker Park is the Carnival of Spite. So Spiteful is throwing a carnival at Link's Tap Room. This is from, good guys, man. Good beer.
That's right in my neighborhood, so perfect.
Oh, so what's that? You're up in,
I'm in Bucktown, actually.
oh, right on.
Yeah.
This is 6 to 11. So they got 4 beers. Goddamn Maple Syrup Pigeon Porter is going to be one of them.
Oh, okay.
Then a pair of IPAs and Mrs. O'Leary's Chocolate Stout. But they're doing like funnel cakes, face painting, carnival games, and
in Links?
they're doing all this in Links.
Wow, weird. They must be clearing out
Wait,
some
did you say
tables.
rides?
No, carnival games. Carnival games.
Games, rides.
Yeah.
Tilt-a-whirl in the back.
like, what?
No.
It'd be funny too, man, because I've never been in the back.
Carousel.
I wonder what's in the back. They probably got room. Yeah.
Well, that's nice, though, because they have the beer meters where you can see how much is left in the barrel.
That's cool. And then if you check in on your app, your face shows up on some of those boards too.
Yeah.
Really?
Like if you check in on like
Untapped
Swarm,
or
cool.
Swarm.
yeah, that's a cool bar.
Yeah.
I like that bar. Yeah. That is Thursday, and then we'll go right into Saturday, man. It's actually a pretty light week. Saturday is the Winter Brew up at Dank House up in Lincoln Square.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the Winter Brew?
Winter Brew is really a showcase for Malt Row. So like all the breweries that are in that area in the Ravenswood, Lincoln Square corridor, this is a fundraiser for a beautification project in Lincoln Square. So the Dank House has 6 floors. This will be on the 5th and the 6th floor. 5th floor is ballroom. 6th floor is a Skyline Lounge.
Okay.
Yeah. Roger Matt Baker got married on the 6th floor.
Nice. Okay.
On the 4th floor, they got a gun range.
What?
In that same building. Yeah.
What? On the 4th floor? How do you have a gun range? I thought those had to be in the basement.
That is it's a $10 ticket, and then they're charging like per beer. You know, you buy some tokens, and like a token's $4, and it equals like 1 beer. It's a token.
Free box
Oh,
of bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah, you buy 20 beers, you get a discount. Next time you want to come shoot. No.
Wow.
But I've been to that party once before. That's a good party. Yeah, because if you ever been to, Hop Leaf used to do those kegs for kids. Hop Leaf kind of feels like a house party because of all those different rooms at
Yeah.
Hop Leaf. This kind of reminds you of that. You're walking up and down these 2 totally different spaces.
Oh, neat.
It's a
Okay.
fun time. Yeah, so that is the 27th. That's Saturday. Yeah.
Different German DJs on different floors.
Yeah, and then all I got for the week, man, is a couple of events out at the Beer Cellar.
Okay.
This is out in Glen Ellen, Illinois. I think that's West Burbs. They're doing 2 kind of cool events, man. The 25th is an evening with Fun Size. So Fun Size is the Pollyanna Stout series.
Yeah.
So there's 3 of them. There's a marshmallow, a maple, and a coconut. They'll have all 3 on. But then on the 28th, they're doing an evening with Randy Mosier.
Okay.
Yeah, so that sounds fun. That's a book signing. $35 will get you a bottle of Papi Chulo. That's
Okay.
a Fire Rabbit beer. That's like a bomber. And he's going to be talking recipes, unusual ingredients, and Randy Mosier things.
Right. One of your Mount Rushmore. Beer Mount Rushmore.
Randy Mosier.
He's in the top 4, huh?
I'm undecided because we talked last week, man. I don't know who to put.
Who was it again? Randy Mosher.
No, it was the Ray Daniels. I
Oh,
put
Ray Daniels. Oh,
Yeah.
Randy Mosher wasn't on there?
Randy Mosher wasn't on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's like,
I wish they had 5 slots. I mean, but that's interchangeable.
Well, they stopped
too.
short of like constructing Mount Rushmore. There could have been 5.
There could have been 5.
You know?
Yeah. But yeah, I put Ray Daniels on there. But this is all in my head, so it could change.
okay. So some pretty solid events. Should be checking out. Like you said, Hop Slam is out now. So
Hop
that's a good
Slam's
thing.
out. Behemoth is out. I like the policy at Three Floyds, though, going back to them, because I picked up Behemoth, and I'm like, there's a barrel-aged version coming. You should tell me if you know when it's coming out. He's like, the brewery staff doesn't tell the brew pub staff anything about releases or what's coming on draft because they don't want friends and family to get it all.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, man, that's
cool.
That's thoughtful of you guys.
Insider
Yeah.
action
Thanks,
happening
Three
there.
Floyds.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
anti-insider action.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's all I got for events, man.
Cool. Well, then we always try to close out here with some news. What's been happening in the beer world?
Yeah, we got a little bit of news, man. Let's talk about Charlie Papazian, man. So Charlie Papazian is he's a founder of the Brewers Association. He's retiring after 40 years, right? And Charlie is also the founder of the American Homebrewers Association and the founder of the Great American Beer Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a huge figure.
He's like George Washington.
And now to be fair, that was Chicago Mount Rushmore that we were talking about.
Oh, okay.
That was
That's
Chicago.
Strictly Chicago.
Strictly Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah, because, this guy. I mean, come on. So you got GABF and the Brewers Association that you started on your resume, and it was his book, The Complete Joy of Homebrewing, that a lot of people reference as, hey, like a starting point for that and then Nixon, making it legal. That's the starting point of modern craft brewing. So he's retiring after 40 years. So that's the news. And a couple of...
It's gonna be a hell of a retirement party.
Dude. I love how... Because he's like such a chill guy. And then they changed the policy at JBF. So if you won the award, you could shake his hand. He puts the award on you. But people were so excited that they're roughing him up. He's 70. So now it's like no more handshakes, fist bumps.
Yeah.
Fist bumps only
Oh, yeah.
for Charlie. So
It's gonna be like
There's still physical contact.
It's gonna be like the Pope in like a glass box. Like you can wave and.
And there's every year there's a show called it's called like the brewery show, right? It's like it's a fundraiser, it's burlesque. Oh, but anyway, the very first guest was Charlie Papazian, and the guy hosting it, Marty Jones, said having you as the first guest is like having the Pope as my first guest. So it's funny you said that. Yeah. So cheers to him. Oh, a couple of brewery closings, man. Out in the West Coast, Mendocino is closing.
Yeah.
So they are I brought it up because their brew pub is the oldest in California. It's 35 years old.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And they went under, man, because they were bought by an Indian billionaire who's being extracted to London because he's for money laundering charges. So they got
Like an Indian, like a India,
like
IPA India.
no, like like India. Yeah. So apparently, man, he's being like he's being charged with like $1 billion in money laundering. So they got some financial issues.
Ooh,
So
go
they're closed.
resurrect.
Okay.
Go resurrect. Okay.
So they're closed.
Kickstarter, or GoFundMe,
So-
Beer Me, something.
That's gotta suck, man. And they had a sister brewery in New York, so that's closing too. Yeah. And then
The Lagunitas in
Petaluma?
it's in Raleigh or South Carolina, North Carolina, wherever
Yeah.
that's closing.
is it?
They had a brew pub there. They cited like
They bought a crew, they bought a pub, and then like put their name on it, right?
and then they've been renovating the building, and it's become too much money, and they're just like, we're shutting it down.
Wow.
We're done. We're out.
Wow.
It's wild out
Is
here.
that a Heineken decision? Or is that a...
I don't know if it was Heineken. They're like,
Lagunitas
whatever, just
Heineken's like, how
go
much?
with
Probably
it.
bankroll the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
We could call this Heineken, Heineken of South Carolina.
It must be real bad if
That's true.
they're out.
'Cause
Yeah.
they got a couple bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other brewery, man.
West Coast brewery, though.
Yeah, that sucks, man. 35 years old and you're closing.
Yeah.
That'd be equivalent of Goose saying, hey, we're done. Right? That's the oldest brew pub. Yeah. So that kind of sucks, man. There was some other news.
Yeah.
Sorry. What did I do? I just got sidetracked. Oh, Smutty Nose in New Hampshire is closing.
No!
Oh, yeah.
No! I love Smutty Nose!
are,
Are you serious?
Yeah, they're 24 years old.
Oh,
So,
man, they're one of my favorite East Coast breweries.
No, their stuff is they're auctioning off the place. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a similar story to what you were saying with Lagunitas, man. So these guys, they just had
Devastating.
they bought this space, LEED Gold certified. We're going to make 75,000 barrels a year, and then they could only make 50% of that. They were never full. They were never brewing at capacity. They expanded too fast. Damn. Financial instability, man. They laid off 68 employees a couple years ago. They were making $10 million in revenue every year.
Wow. Yeah, I would say their beer is like classic, old school beer now, but
it is.
I couldn't tell you if I had a Smutty Nose beer in the last 10 years. Like,
That's true.
That's
true. Their stalwarts are like staples, but at least that stuff that they have been innovating didn't make its way out here to Chicago. And I can see it's an East Coast brewery.
Yeah.
But
so
man, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I love those guys.
Nice. What else we got? I know I did see Budweiser is no longer a top 3 beer anymore.
Yeah, they dropped to number 4.
Right, so now it's Bud Light, Miller Light, and is it Coors Light? Yeah.
Coors Light.
Are the top 3 beers.
The top 3 beers in the country.
Everybody who works for Miller will be most pleased with that.
Yeah. Budweiser.
Well, it's the same company now.
Miller Coors, yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Right.
The International Herb Association. They named their 2018 Herb of the Year, and it's
Hops.
Whoa. Cumulus lupus, man.
Oh yeah.
Herb of the Year for its antibacterial effects and positive effects on the skin. They're calling it green gold, man.
So people that drink coffee beers have better skin?
That's what they're saying.
That's how I took that news.
I didn't compliment you on your skin.
Great skin, Brad. You lush.
Both of you guys.
Yeah, so I know you're wondering. So in 2017, the herb of the year was coriander. In 2016, it was cayenne pepper.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
See, my Colorado brain went to a different herb.
Yeah.
But, hops are still in the family there. So
that's the cob. That might be next year's herb.
Yeah, right? Next year's herb of the year is herb. Oh, man. And finally, man, the 20th annual Brew Pub Shootout was this weekend out at Beta Brow. We'll go through the winners real quick. The champion beer was Blue Island. Right.
Nice. Congrats, Brian Simcoe.
Yeah, for sure. Champion food was Rock Bottom. Champion food and beer pairing was Blue Island and Maple Tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And cheers to those guys at Blue Island because they finished second in the food pairing competition as well.
Yeah,
so,
that's fantastic. Nice job. Maple Room's great. And cool. I was sad I couldn't make it to that event. That event is super fun.
Yeah. But
cool.
That's it for news, man.
Whew. All right, that's it. And we still have more beer to drink.
We do.
So we should we'll wrap this up and maybe we'll dive into some other bottles here.
Right on.
Gavin, thanks for joining us. This was great.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. This was a lot of fun.
Where can people find you? Are you on Twitter? Can they get in touch with you? Or?
Yeah, I'm a little bit less on Twitter. Gavin Morrissey Twitter right now. And as far as big social, same with that. I have like one name for every social account that I have.
Okay.
I got in early, and
It's the way it should be.
Gav Moore for everything. Like even my PlayStation name is like Gav
there
Moore,
you go. Nice
which makes
job.
no sense.
AOL.
Yeah. So let's go with Gav Moore. You'll be able to find me.
Cool. How about you, Nick? Where can people get in touch with you?
Right on, man. I'm on Twitter at Nicosio.
And I'm on Twitter at BRAD. Chicago Beer Pass is on Twitter at Chicago Beer Pass. Website, chicagobeerpass.com. Everything's just posted there. We didn't even mention the Instagram this week, but we were on fire this week. We were posting a lot of stuff.
Per usual.
Yeah, check that out. Yeah. It's Chicago Beer Pass on Instagram. And we'll be back next week with another episode. Take care.
Cheers.